Hey guys, Jesse here, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I know it looks like we're sort of set up in live streaming mode, but it's actually the start of a new series I've been wanting to do for quite some time, but I just found some time between moving and doing some other stuff to actually start it. And in this series, we're going to be taking a look at some Gunpla new releases, and just wanted to give my thoughts on some of it. I'm not going to make this too regular or anything. I'll just be looking at these new releases periodically or whatever, so I'll be honest, it's not going to be on a very tight schedule, but we'll do them as new releases come. And I thought, why not start out the first episode with the announcement of my favorite Gundam suit, which is the F91, and we finally have some images of the version 2.0, so let's go ahead and get on it. So the F91 2.0 was sort of teased / announced a couple months back, but now we finally got official images. I know this is kind of old news. I got this newsletter a couple days ago, and by the way, this is from Gundam Planet. Sometimes I get questions asking where I get my Gundams and my Gunpla. I mainly get my kits from Gundam Planet, which is a store in New Jersey, but sometimes I'll get them off of Amazon or some local store. My supplies I always get from a local store unless it's something very specialized, but I know Gundam Planet also sells supplies. But in any case, we'll be looking at a lot of these suits off of Gundam Planet. So here's the F91 version 2.0, our next master grade, and my initial thoughts are the same as it was originally announced, and that is why. Well, why do we need this? The current F91 is perfectly fine, and I really think the 2.0 line should be saved for things that actually need 2.0s, like the GP01 or the GP02 or the G Gundam Master Grades. So to give it to the F91, yes, it's my favorite suit, and yes, I love it. I just don't understand why it's getting its 2.0 treatment. But in any case, here it is. And it looks pretty nice, but the first thing I'm noticing off the bat is there isn't a lot of surface detail, just like the one that's out right now. So it kind of makes you wonder, again, why are we getting this when the main focus of the newer Master Grades is to put a lot of surface detail on it. I mean, look at the Justice 2.0. You're going to be lining that thing for months, man. And this one, again, just little notches here, here, here. Not a lot going on in terms of surface detail. It also looks like they changed the proportions a bit, rounding out some of these sharper edges. For whatever reason, this is now one solid piece, possibly, when this really should be a separate cuff, but okay. Whatever. Here we got a back shot. Again, some nice detail here. I'm pretty sure these open up, so does the current one. So again, not a new feature necessarily. Probably an improved feature, but yeah, not a new feature. Overall, again, it looks nice. It looks great. Looks like it's going to be a fantastic MG for anyone who doesn't own the original. So not a bad option. Here we got an action pose here. I'm really hoping that the F91 here is a decal and not etched in detail or red plastic going through holes on the white plastic, because they did that with the full mechanics bale and people really didn't like it because it makes it really hard to paint these custom pieces if you want it to be a different color, or if you don't want the F91 on there at all. It can be very difficult because you have to fill it in with putty. The VSBR here can open up, which again the current one can. I'm not too crazy about the shape of the new VSBR here. It's just a little stout and kind of too round for my likes. But overall it looks pretty nice. It looks great. I know I'm sounding very critical about it, and if you're excited for this, then all power to you. But for me, I have my reasons why I would just suggest getting the original. But we'll see when it comes out. Maybe I'll get my hands on it. Looks like the ridges on here, though, on the chest and in the knees are far more defined, and they look a lot better than the original. I'll give it that. Here's something kind of interesting. On the inner frame of this sort of cage where the cockpit is, looks like we're going to have some gold inner detail poking through, which is pretty weird. But again, look how plain the surface detail is here. Just pointing it out one more time. And we've got like some sort of like blue film or clear piece behind that. Pretty weird. And then here I think we have the same thing going on with this gold inner frame kind of poking through. I think this is also color separated in the current release. I'd have to go look at my kit again, but actually this looks to be, yeah, I think this is a light up feature. Actually, you can kind of see how they're kind of attempting to make the light bounce off. Oh, by the way, for people who are unfamiliar, a lot of these shots from Gunpla and other sellers, they're just CGI renders, so this isn't the actual kit built. So it's not going to look exactly like this when you get it, but it's going to be pretty damn close. But in any case, looks like this is going to be like a light up feature here. Looks like you still have the ability to display it with this god-awful face. I don't know why anybody would want that. Looks like it's being done a little bit differently here, where the face can actually open up. On the other kit, it kind of slides up and you have to like remove some pieces, so that is an improvement. I suppose it kind of makes this area look pretty gross. Again, showing off that you can insert and extend the fins here, which the current one can do. Maybe it's a lot nicer on this because the current Master Grade, it's pretty rough pushing this in and out. You might break something because these fins are quite thin on the current one. But it also looks like there's been a bit of proportion change here. This fin is far longer than the other ones, whereas the current one, I believe they're all the same length. Maybe the top one's a little bit longer, but it's not this long. So I do admit that does look a lot cooler. And then another shot of the chest with no blue. So I'm guessing the inner blue part is a light up feature. We'll see. Here's that inner frame part just by itself, which is kind of strange. Okay, so here we go. So the cockpit here is this clear blue piece, which I'm guessing an LED unit goes down here and then shines this up, and then you get to see it through the cage and stuff. So that would explain this picture here. So that's just the lit up clear blue cockpit. So that's pretty neat. I will give it that. That's a really cool light up feature if they're going to do something really different when with a 2.0 F91. This is pretty cool, but it's going to limit the waist articulation for sure, but I think that's a pretty good trade-off. That being said, it's kind of strange that they're focusing so much on inner frame detail, where again the newer Master Grades are really focused on outer surface detail, so it's just kind of a weird, I don't know why. Bandai kind of focuses on different things all over the place at different times, so again, showing that the VSBR can extend. One thing I'm noticing throughout this entirety of looking at this kit is they're not showing any decals anywhere on any part of this kit, and it kind of worries me because the current Master Grade comes with a lot of decals, and they're really, really awesomely detailed and nice decals. And for them to not show any on any of these promotional picks kind of worries me because I think it's just going to come with stickers and not any dry transfers or water. Well, for sure it's not going to come with water slides, but no dry transfers possibly. So it kind of worries me because if you go look at the decal sheet for the current Master Grade, they're just super nice. Ugh. That is a nasty looking green. I really hope it is not that color when you get it. I like the shape of it, but that is really gross. Could just go with like a sort of pure, brighter green. That's straight up puke green, so are the beam sabers. So really hope they don't look like that in the final product. Again, you got your beam bazooka and you got your beam rifle in that god-awful lavenderish gray. They just need to stop making that color, man. Looks like we're going to have interchangeable fingers, which is fine by me. Hands look really detailed, which is really nice. Interestingly, the shield, I forget what it's called, the shield eye field generator, whatever, is going to be two separate pieces, I guess. So you've got this, and then you've got this when you don't want it on, so you got some part swapping. Whereas, again, the current one doesn't do that. You just snap on your clear effect piece. So, not sure what's going on there. And that seems to be it. And I know it sounds like I'm absolutely dogging all over this thing, but it's probably going to be an amazing kit. I mean, it's $40, so you can't really go wrong. $40 for an MG. But the current one is like $35, and you get a stand with it that could be displayed on its own because it's like the top half of the Lafrazia. So that alone is its own display piece, and also you get the Master Grade F91. So Not going to be calling this a disappointment yet because I haven't built it. It doesn't even exist yet, but currently I'm not super impressed by it. And this is my favorite suit, so kind of disappointing just looking at it. But this is something I'm really excited for. I've already got it pre-ordered. That is the next RE100, which is the Vigna Ghina, which I don't know if I'm saying that right, but who cares? Again, very obviously a CGI render. But it's looking pretty good. I haven't built any RE100s, so I can't really comment too much about what to expect here. Really hope this red in here is color separated because I do like how the red. Normally I don't like red thrusters, like the inside of a thruster to be red, but I think it looks really good on the Vigna Ghina for whatever reason. Really excited for this kit because my F91 needs a buddy, and this is exactly what I want. So again, in an action pose, RE100s aren't really known for their articulation, but I think any kid out there can pull off the L strike pose pretty easily. Just a shot of the cockpit, it seems. Again, not a lot of surface detail here, so it's going to fit in really well with either the original F91 or the newer 2.0. So these are kind of your, comp buddy kits to get. Then we have another shot of the cockpit. Okay. Okay, so there you get two different cockpits for whatever reason, or this cockpit hatch. I've seen the movie, and I can't remember if this has to do something with, I can't remember if it got changed out in the middle of the movie or something, but in any case, I guess you get a rounder one and you get a sharper one. Kind of prefer that one more. And just another shot of this. Really hope that symbol right there is a water slide, because if that's a sticker, oh man, that's going to be really disappointing. That means I'm going to have to get water slides for sure. Another thing you can see here is these pipes here, while they will be color separated, it seems, they won't be actually separated. You can see a connecting piece here. So you're just going to have one piece here. Not a big deal, but it kind of makes me wonder if the underside of these pipes are hollow, which will probably be the case. Not a big deal though. And then the back of the knee here, again showing that these aren't really separated, they're just one knee piece. But I'm guessing a lot of these gray pieces will be color separated, but this makes me think that that red for sure won't be a separate piece because they're not in here. So looks like you're gonna have to do some painting. Oh well. This is a really obvious CGI render shot. Like sometimes they try to mask it, but not so much here. I think this is a panel line. I really hope that's not a seam line that they just sort of left in their render. Who knows? Oh, cool thing is you'll be able to swivel in and out these separate fins. Very cool. Really wish they could go up and down, but looks like they'll only be able to go in and out. But just cool that they can move at all. But pretty neat. I really like the Vigna Ghina. I think it's a really unique design. Unfortunately, these thrusters up in here will just be solid purple, so you're going to have to do some painting in there. Not too surprising. This I-field generator, or whatever, the shield generator, is looking a little plain as well. Probably got to do a little painting there if you want to be completely accurate. And then we get the accessories. That is bubblegum pink, if I've ever seen it. Oh, that's nasty. Yeah, I really hope it doesn't look like that, because I like beam shields, and I really like the beam shields in F91, so again, the shape is really nice, but the color is just not great. It's probably just going to be clear pink in the end, but what they're showing off here isn't great. And then you've got these two weapons, very, very plain. That beam bazooka is really boring, just in gray and just overall. Beam rifle is okay. It's not my favorite design, but it'll probably be the main weapon I use for the Vigna Ghina. Really like the hilts for the beam sabers. They're just really unique. And that about does it for the Vigna Ghina. Pretty cool design. Really excited for it. So, does anyone know how to pronounce that name? Vigna Ghina. Write it down right now. Alright, and then next up, we'll take a quick look at whatever this is. I have no idea what this is. The Gabaldi Beta was apparently in Zeta Gundam. Looks like a Gelgoog with the strangely olive green shield. Okay, or military green shield. Kind of strange. But this is your next HG, I suppose. Looks like your mono eye is going to be separated here, showing off some detail. I don't know, maybe this is some feature I can't read. Maybe just talking about part separation. Nice thing is, looks like this isn't going to be a parts former when you want to display these missiles, and the missile looks like it's going to be color separated, so you've got a nice little swiveling gimmick here. Showing off articulation. This is pretty cool, just how that looks. Reminds me of the DJ. I guess you've got some option parts for the chest that you can snap on and off. I'm sorry if I don't have much to say on this suit. I'm sorry this is your favorite suit. I'm just not giving it a lot of attention, but I have no idea what this suit is. I have no familiarity with it. And then we've got one ugly-ass looking beam rifle. Oh man, that's like the Gelgu rifle, but worse. Anyways, and then this weirdly green shield. But there it is, the Gabaldi Beta. So if you're excited for it, I'm sure it'll be fine. A lot of HGs nowadays are absolutely fantastic. And next up, I know this is old news, but I just want to talk about it because it interests me. First off, I have the Striker GNX or Jinx or however the hell you want to say it. I have it. I just haven't unboxed it yet. I'm going to do that when I move. So let's talk about Gundam Build Divers. So Gundam Build Divers was announced a couple months ago, I think, along with a lot of these new kits. And I know, again, it's sort of old news, but I do just want to talk about it. There's a strange focus on 00 and age. 00 I can understand. Age, kind of strange. But overall, I like a lot of the designs that I've seen so far. Funnily enough, not the main ones, but kind of the supporting Gundam Build Divers, Build Fighters, whatever suits. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and open this in a tab, this in a tab. Yeah, we'll open up the Grimoire in a tab, and we'll just sort of talk about these other ones. So this GM3 Beam Master looks awesome. Can't really say I like the color. That kind of goes for all of these kits. I think the designs are great, but the colors are just kind of off. Of course, you can always paint it. So he has a really cool weapon, like a Gatling gun / artillery howitzer or whatever, but that's a really cool kit. I don't know what it is about the GNX. It's like the year of the Jinx or GNX or whatever you want to call it, because it's getting a lot of variations, and this is another one. Really reminds me of an Age 1 Titus, again, kind of fitting in with the Age theme. Doesn't really look like a GNX at all, but I really like these big beam cleavers. I think that's super cool. Overall, it's a cool design, not really Gundam in my eyes, and not something I really want, but you know, I think it's a really cool variation on the Jinx. Kind of shows how far you can take it. This is possibly the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life, and if you don't buy it, I have to kind of question your taste in Gunpla, to be honest, because this is a Kapul instead of a Kapul looking kind of like a duck, and it just doesn't really get any better than that. In fact, we're going to open this. We're going to look at this right now, because I mean, look at it. It's perfection. In all seriousness, this is pretty great. I love the Kapul, and this is just such a so funny. I love it. Yeah, I gotta pre-order this one eventually, but and it's, ooh, what the hell? It's kind of expensive. 20 bucks? Are you serious? In any case, yeah, pretty awesome. Okay, let's get back to this. The CeraV, I hate the CeraV, so this isn't really doing anything for me, and I really hate that minty blue, so it just makes it even worse. But the CeraV Shahendarazade, these fucking names that Bandai sometimes comes up with for their suits, it's insane. But looks like you get a lot of options and stuff, so if you like the CeraV, it's probably a nice option. We finally get some Plamo Haro, so I guess we can look at this real quick. So yeah, finally a plastic kit of Haro in a size I want. So yeah, you can do all the features, and he's super small, it looks like, and that's very obviously 3D printed. It's funny. Yeah, he's a nice size, and ugh. Well, that's the thing of nightmares. Flesh Haro. That's pretty gross. Not going to be doing that with my Haro, but I don't know if this is like a 3-pack or something, but yep, Haro. Pretty great that we finally get a proper plamo of Haro. So let's take a look at these. So here's the main protagonist suit of the series, I'm assuming. Not 100% sure, but he's like on all the promotional pages. Uh, I don't know. It's okay. If you like the 00 Gundam, I'm sure you like this, but for me, I really hate the 00 Gundam already, and this isn't doing anything for me. It looks okay, and it looks 90% 00, like HG 00 Gundam, which isn't the greatest. But yeah, I don't know. This doesn't really do much for me, and it doesn't look very Build Fighters-esque. Like, it looks like it just belongs in the 00 universe, especially with zero color changes. Even the Build Strike Gundam looked more Build Fighters-esque because it was just super colorful. So if you like that aspect about this suit, then I'm sure you like this suit. But for me, it's just a variation of the 00 Gundam, and I'm not too crazy about the 00 Gundam. So it makes me wonder if you can actually put the 00 Riser on this kit, because it doesn't look like these binders are compatible, but you know they're going to sell that eventually in some shape or form. But we have pulling off 00 poses, and the new stand for the Build Diver series. It's like this Action Base 4 with a little cutout for some clear translucent thing. And got some hand and weapon options. So as you can see, they don't really have much to show off on this kit because it's really just the 00 Gundam. Really, man, they really could have picked a different suit to base the main protagonist suit off for this series, because they could have been so much more original. And then we got this other one. Maybe this is like the main antagonist suit or something. But an H2 variation, again, pretty strange that they're focusing a lot on age. I mean, I don't think a lot of people remember age fondly, but this really just looks like a variation of the H2 Gundam, which with a little bit of age effects thrown in there with the clear parts. So if you like that aspect, again, you'll like this suit, I think. Although from what I've heard, the age HGs are really, really nice. So I think if this is based off of the H2 HG, it's probably going to be a pretty nice kit. I do like that little splash of orange down there in the midsection. And overall, the colors are really nice, but I'm not a big fan of the H2 design either. It's a little too blocky for me in a bad way. So, and plus that knee is really ugly. So I won't be getting this kit. And that beam rifle is really ugly. So yeah, it doesn't appeal to me too much, but still a nice kit. Probably going to be a nice kit. Haven't built any HGs yet, but can't say, oh, look, it transforms. Great. Oh, that's going to be fun. And then, why are the beam sabers so short? Why are the beam hilts so short? It's got little baby beam sabers. That's funny. And here's it on the Action Base 4, showing off that you can use these little ports to... That is the stupidest looking connection for just that little thing. Anyways, let's move on. So again, pretty cool looking kit. This is something I'm excited for, though, and I'll probably end up pre-ordering. This is the Grimoire Red Beret. I really love the Grimoire design, really, and this especially reminds me of a Scope Dog. It's from Votom, I think. It's a different series and kit, but with the red head and the red shoulder, like, really looks like the Scope Dog. But I love these knee pads, super cool. I love the wheels on the feet, and yeah, just overall, pretty interesting kit. Big old backpack. From what I understand, this thing has like interchangeable heads somehow here. Whoa, that's cool. Didn't know it could do that. That's neat. Yeah, so here we go. So the heads are like interchangeable, and they're their own like little units. So I guess they store into the backpack. I didn't know that, but anyways, that's pretty neat and pretty cute. And yeah, I guess it has to have color coordinated butter knives. Not sure what's going on there, but this really looks like it's going to be the high mock of this series, because you kind of had this like modular gun design and interchangeable heads and all this stuff. So really, I think it's going to be like the high mock of the series, and I'm guessing these two are connected via like a hard point. This is probably connected via a hard point. These are probably connected via a hard point. So you're going to be able to do a lot of customizing with this guy. And especially with these new parts, but I really like that collar too. Just overall, it's, yeah, I'm definitely digging this kit a lot. So, and then we looked at that, and we looked at that. So that about does it for this first episode of Gunpla new releases with Jesse. So again, this isn't going to be on a tight schedule, just whenever I get probably an email from Gunpla with big new releases or even smaller releases. We'll see how it goes. But let me know in the comments below what you think of these new releases and what you think of this video overall. And thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Bye-bye.